We're back with episode 2 of Learning Raids. We're going to start off with Tecton, since at the end of last episode I was dying to him. I haven't actually killed Tecton, but I know how to do it. Simple fact is that I will hit constant zeros and he will just go back to his... Even if I do the technique right, he still has the chance of going back and healing up. So I have to have insane RNG to be actually able to kill Tecton. But here's what you do here. I'll show you what I was doing wrong for ages, just in case anyone else was trying it and they might have been doing the same thing. I'll show you what I'm doing, but see, I'm doing it right here. Actually, no, I think I fuck up on this one, actually. I think I fucked up a little bit then, but he will still go back and heal, even if you don't fuck up sometimes, and I just can't out DPS him with a fucking Dragon Ball Hammer, but I can show you what to do anyway. So I'll start off with what I was doing wrong for ages, and as you can see here, I'm using a step right in front of Tecton as my stationary step, and the one behind me as my flow step, and that means I can dodge his left hand, but I actually end up getting smacked by his right one all the time. So I was like, what the fuck? Why is it only working sometimes? I was like, maybe they patched it or something. Maybe they fixed it so you can't solo it. But then I realized, it took me so long to realize what I was doing wrong. It was actually quite funny. I think I was there for 45 minutes doing Tecton, so you can imagine how pissed I was. So here's what you're supposed to do. I'm not actually sure how I get into this most of the time. Well, I do know, but sometimes when I try and do the same way, like I start off the way I did before, I'm using the front step as a stationary one, and I sort of just stop there. And then sometimes when I stop there, he will just walk away and heal. And that's why it kind of baffles me. But now you can see what I'm doing different from last time. I'm using the back step as my stationary and the front one as my flow one, and that means I can dodge both hands. And then I was like, oh shit, this whole time I've been stopping on the front step, and it took me like ages to realize this. So that's all you have to do, is use the step in front of Tecton as the one that you sort of flow into, and the one at the back that you stop into. And all you have to do is just attack him every 3 ticks and then just step back outside of his melee range. So yeah, if you've got a better crush weapon than me, then you might as well kill this boss, but I don't think I'll ever just even bother killing this boss again, because there's just no point. You can also run around Tecton, but I just do this method because I've got a longer hitting weapon, so it's not as effective doing the run around thing, but it looks kind of harder to learn too, so I was like, fuck that shit. This is one of my favourite rooms, simply just because of the points and how quick it takes. All you have to do is just pray mage, kill both of the mages. They're really easy to kill. They can hit through your prayer, but they won't hit you that much. And the rangers are the same, but they can hit you quite high through prayer. But then again, sometimes they can barely hit you at all. You don't even have to take one sip of brew. So it can go either way, but all you have to do after is just climb over that tight rope. Then you get the keystone crystal, and then you hop back over and use it on a little barrier, and then you can go into the next room. And the last thing before we get to Olm is Vespula. There's a few ways to kill Vespula, but I'll just go through the ways I do them. I only do 2 different methods, and the first one is if I haven't had enough time to make a prayer enhanced potion or get one from a boss, or I haven't got siege yet or whatever. You just attack the portal and then move 1 step to the side of the grub, and then that's the safe spot where you're standing. And then as soon as you're ready to shoot again, you just go back under and do that, because the boss can only hit up to 8 when you're standing underneath her. So you've always got enough time to get out before you die. Also, when you're in a safe spot, you can obviously heal up as well, so the chances of you dying is pretty low unless you just run out of food. You're pretty much able to kill the portal every time before the grubs spawn, so that's fine. But now jump onto the other method. In this method, you use a prayer enhanced potion, and that slowly restores your prayer, and then that means you can run underneath her and you throw up your redemption prayer, and because you can't hit above 8, it will always save you, and because your prayer is regaining slowly, every time you run back underneath her, you can throw up your prayer again, and then just continuously do that until the portal is killed. And this is way quicker, way more efficient, and it pretty much always works. So hopefully you'll get Vespula after you got yourself a prayer enhanced potion. And now finally for the almighty Olm. The first thing that I had to do was obviously learn how to kill the melee and the mage hands without taking any damage, which I knew was going to be a bit of a bitch, but yeah, I really did not understand what to do for the first maybe like 5 attempts. I was just not understanding either of the hands, and then eventually it all clicked and I can do it. But we'll get to that. Let's go through me failing first. So as you can see here, I can barely remember where I'm supposed to be clicking, and I don't really know how to line up my run-in with Olm's attack, and therefore getting hit by everything, his special attacks and his normal ranged and mage attacks all at once. So let me show you what I was doing wrong with the melee hand also. So in this phase I'm supposed to run between 2 squares and like line it up with his head movement, but obviously me being stupid, I was clicking 1 step too far in the middle, and I couldn't work out for maybe about 4 attempts. I was like, why can't I do what Wooks is doing in the video? He's doing the exact same thing I'm doing, but obviously not. He was running 1 step shorter, so this yet again making me get hit by all of his attacks and his special attacks. Actually, I did manage to dodge his head a few times, but that's just down to luck. Every time I got to Olm as well, I was getting quicker times, which motivated me even more to go and learn it. So I slightly started learning the mage hand a bit, but as you can see here, when he turns his head to the right hand after hitting the middle safe spot, I just didn't have that reaction time to click back to the other hand. I just couldn't do it. But then I realized that I had a lot of time to do it and I was just overplaying it. Another mistake I kept making is even if I did get the head right and he only did turn to the middle and I continued to the next safe spot, I kept shooting the hand every time I hit the safe spot, and I was like, I'm not supposed to hit at this safe spot, I'm just supposed to run at it and then as soon as I hit it, come back. But I just kept attacking and I don't know why, it was just like a natural reaction. But yeah, I just had to not do that basically. I'm so happy that this method was found because there's no way in hell that I'd be able to solo raids without it. But it's still a bitch even now I've learnt it because I have to do the hands pretty much perfectly the whole way through until the head. Because obviously having a full overload takes away 4 brews straight away, and then I only have I think 4 left or 3 left, so by the final hand sometimes I do run out of brews, so you have to do it pretty perfectly, otherwise yeah, you basically die and then there's no point even doing the raid in the first place. So I eventually realised that I was going to have to use Void since killing a melee hand took too long compared to the mage hand, which is really quick to kill. The melee hand took ages, so I was using supplies by making mistakes and just restores obviously from using prayer constantly. I had a bit of a panic thinking what other equipment can I take, and it was like nothing else would help me be more accurate with a Dragon Warhammer. And then I realised, oh shit, Void melee. So I was like, I don't have it, but I'll just go get it. Got it in one day because obviously the buff to pest control that I forgot about because I've never done it before. Made it wait really quick and then just got that, and yeah, made the process a lot easier. Not crazy difference, but enough to make it like worthwhile basically. As you can see in the background, I managed to learn a mage hand perfectly, and it's actually one of the most satisfying things I can do in the game. So just doing not just the mage hand but all of it in general is just so satisfying to just be able to do it on my account and just be like, yeah bitch, I'm soloing raids right now on my shitty little Zerker. What I'm doing for this method is basically just running back and forth between these 2 squares either side of his hand and the middle square. As you can see, I'm standing on there. They're all safe spots depending on where Olm's head is facing. I'm not going to go into detail about it, just go on Wook's guide because yeah, I'm not going to just copy what he said. But I'll have a video of, I'm just going to put a whole raw clip up of me just killing Olm. I'll probably just do this clip here actually. And then this is me when I learned a melee hand when I was stepping on the right square. I actually managed to do it right. There you go, because before I was stepping one too far, and now all I have to do is just attack, and then as soon as I hit, I run to that square, and you just do it in rotation. You can easily just do it by looking at his head. So like, I know he's about to move his head now, so that's when I click, and then I come back, click on his hand, and then you just sync it up like that. Move it now, and then you click on his hand when he moves back, and then you have to click on that tile to make sure you get the whole way there, because obviously you will stop when you do that melee hit, so you have to click as soon as you basically do it, and you just do this non-stop over and over again. And I can often hit pretty high with my Dragon Warhammer, surprisingly. So I need to repeat this 3 times over and try not to make any mistakes worth a whole brew. Otherwise, I'm basically fucked at the end because I just get completely mucked at the end by all the crystals and just getting hit by Olm. Because, yeah, as you can see here, I've got, what, like 8 brews in my inventory, I think. Yeah, 8. And then 4 of them get used up just from overloads alone. And I need minimum at the moment like 3 brews to make it through the last phase. Maybe when I get a little bit better at it, I'll be able to maybe use a little bit less, but at the end there you're going to get hit whatever. You can just minimize it a little bit less on the last phase by stepping at the right time with the blowpipe. In the last phase of the hands, you need to kill them off within like 10 seconds of each other. So what you do is you kill the mage hand until you got it near the end, and then you just throw on your melee equipment and start doing the melee hand and bring it down the whole way. Kill that hand off, and then because you know you can hit more consistent on the mage hand, you kill that one off straight after. Otherwise, it will heal up, and then you have to kill both the hands again, basically. So that's some long shit, and that will fuck up your run for sure. Lucky enough this run I managed to make it through with 5 brews, so I knew I was going to be able to survive this one, and I was happy because I knew it was going to be my first raid without a death. All you have to do is just run between the 2 squares that you do with the mage hand, and then you just shoot at every chance you have. So you're just shooting and then moving 2 steps like in sync when his head moves. So you can see here you still get hit like a few times just because the way the blowpipe shoots, you just can't do the other method. But like you can see here that when he gets to the middle he can't hit you here, and then when he gets to that side he can't hit you there because he has to move his head over. So that's basically it for Olm. I'm not going to go through like all of his different attacks and all that shit. I'll just show you what like I do with my player movement. But I'll cut to a clip of me finishing my first raid without dying. Anyway, I don't know, 3 solos before that and then a few raids with my mates. But plenty more solos to come. I just had to take a break from raids in general, just from like the whole learning process of it. It was just a lot to take in. But soon I'll be grinding it hard, I reckon, and trying to get a drop. Because that would be pretty cool just to get a solo drop on my account. And if I do, I'll probably get motivated just to keep going and see what else I can get from there. Yes, we finally killed Olm without dying. It was one of our longer raids, but look at that, 27,000 points. Oh, I'm so relieved right now. And look, I ended with a few bruises as well. I basically made no mistakes on the hands the whole way through, so that Olm was beast. So I'm hyped on that. I'm not sure how long that Olm was, but I'll check soon. But that's definitely our best one so far. Nice little 136 dragon arrows. I'll take that. Let's get the fuck out of here. Yes, lad.